Have you ever noticed something strange? You can sleep 8 hours, do almost nothing all day, and still feel exhausted? Not sleepy, not physically tired, just drained. Like even simple things feel heavier than they should. Answering messages feels like effort. Starting work feels overwhelming. Even hobbies don't feel exciting anymore. And then the worst part? You blame yourself. You think, why am I like this? Why am I so lazy lately? Other people handle life just fine. But what if I told you something simple? Maybe you're not lazy at all. Maybe you're just mentally exhausted. And there's a big psychological difference between those two. Because laziness is not wanting to act. Exhaustion is wanting to act, but not having the energy to. And most people today aren't lazy. They're overwhelmed, quietly, constantly, in ways they don't even realize. Let me explain. Think about how your average day looks. From the moment you wake up, your brain starts working. Not physically, mentally. Notifications, messages, news, deadlines, decisions, comparisons, scrolling, more decisions, what to reply, what to wear, what to eat, what to watch, what to post, what to worry about next. Even when you're resting, your brain isn't. It's still processing, still consuming, still stimulated. And here's something most people don't know. Your brain doesn't get tired from doing nothing. It gets tired from too much input. Modern life is not physically demanding. It's cognitively demanding, which means your mind is working all day, even if your body isn't. That's why you can sit at a desk all day and feel more exhausted than someone who worked with their hands. Mental load is heavier than physical load. It just feels invisible. There's actually a term for this. It's called cognitive fatigue. It happens when your brain has to constantly switch attention, task to task, app to app, thought to thought. And here's the problem. Your brain was never designed for this level of stimulation. For most of human history, life was slower. One task at a time, long stretches of focus, long stretches of silence. Now, it's constant interruption. Every few seconds, something pulls your attention away, and every switch costs energy. You don't notice it, but your brain pays for every tiny switch. By evening, you're not lazy. You're depleted. But there's another layer, and this one is deeper, because even people who don't do much still feel exhausted. So it can't just be stimulation. Sometimes it's something quieter, something emotional. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt tired, even on days when nothing stressful really happened? Just this low, heavy feeling for no clear reason? That's usually not workload. That's misalignment. This is where psychology gets interesting. When you live a life that doesn't match who you really are, your brain experiences constant background stress. Not loud stress, not panic, just subtle resistance, like swimming slightly against the current all day. You can still move, but it costs more energy. Imagine wearing shoes half a size too small. You could walk all day, but you'd be exhausted by the end. Not because walking is hard, because something doesn't fit. That's what a misaligned life feels like. Maybe your job pays well, but drains you. Maybe your schedule looks productive, but leaves no room to breathe. Maybe you're always busy, but never fulfilled. So your brain quietly asks all day, why are we doing this? And when there's no good answer, everything feels heavier. Tasks take more willpower. Simple things feel overwhelming. Not because you're incapable, because your brain isn't convinced it's worth the energy. Motivation isn't just discipline. It's meaning. When something feels meaningful, energy appears naturally. Have you noticed that? You can spend hours on something you love and feel fine, but 20 minutes of something you hate feels unbearable. That's not laziness. That's your nervous system choosing where energy goes. So what happens when most of your life feels meaningless or forced? Your brain protects itself. It looks for relief. That's when we reach for easy dopamine, scrolling, YouTube, snacks, random distractions. Not because we're weak, because we're tired. It's self-soothing, a quick way to feel okay for a moment. But here's the trap. Distraction feels like rest, but it's not recovery. Real recovery comes from silence, slowness, movement, sunlight, real conversations, doing one thing at a time. But instead, we give our brain more stimulation, so it never truly recharges. It's like trying to rest while someone keeps tapping your shoulder every 5 seconds. Eventually, you just feel numb. And then we make it worse, because instead of saying, maybe I'm overwhelmed, we say, I need more discipline, so we push harder, wake up earlier, add more habits, add more goals, more productivity. But adding pressure to an exhausted brain is like revving a car with no fuel. It doesn't move. It just burns out faster. Sometimes the solution isn't doing more. It's removing what's draining you. Less noise, less unnecessary obligations, less comparison, less constant input, more space, more quiet. More things that actually feel like you. Here's a gentler question to ask yourself. Not, how do I become more productive? But, why am I so tired in the first place? Is it lack of sleep? Or lack of meaning? Is it laziness? Or emotional overload? Is it discipline? Or a life that doesn't really fit you? Because once you ask better questions, you stop attacking yourself, and something shifts. Instead of fighting your brain, you start understanding it. And when you feel understood, energy slowly comes back, not through force, through alignment. Maybe you don't need to fix yourself. Maybe you just need to design a life that costs less energy to live. A life you don't constantly feel the need to escape from. A life where even ordinary days feel lighter. Not perfect, not glamorous, just sustainable. Because the goal isn't to squeeze more output from yourself. The goal is to feel alive without being exhausted. And that starts with one small realization. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're probably just mentally overloaded and quietly misaligned. And once you see that, you stop blaming yourself. You start adjusting your life. And that's when things finally begin to feel easier. Not because you became stronger, but because you stopped fighting yourself